Des Moines.
I got a song for Maury.
What's that about Maury?
Maury, I got a song for you.
Uh-oh. Do I have to sing along? No.
This is your birthday song.
Yeah! Happy birthday to Maury. I'm really stoked about the next person because now we have full representation of the American School of Storytelling. Why the other night you did this thing where somebody finished and you just kept going like, what was that?
I was taught by Tony Placido, who is a well-known curator of Poets and Pints, that you need to clap all the way up to the microphone to welcome.
Of course.
So,
Okay.
So it's Tony Placido.
Everybody's note. Take that little clue there. I'll do it. You all do it.
I will.
Christine is, like Lauren, a tireless supporter of this whole storytelling thing. Yeah, bravo. And she killed it at Cheap Theater one night when I saw you. And I know you're going to kill it again tonight. Oh, you're a tall one, aren't you? Lauren likes the tall ones. Jesus, God, I can't believe I said that. Christine Mounts, everybody, all the way to the mic. All the way to the mic.
Thanks, Peter. This was requested that I tell a story. I was asked, do I tell stories? I said, sometimes. But I am going to start with a poem. And it's an award-winning poem from St. Thomas University, and St. Paul Almanac had a environmental justice in Minnesota storytelling contest, and it was lots of artists, but I won for poetry. And it's not exactly the happiest poem, but whatever. Here we go.
Hold up, Marauder.
It's all gonna.
Not let it rip.
Let us consider where we were born. Where else might it have been within our vast, lifeless known space? Science fiction movie myth of fantasy escape shuttles to nearby livable planets. Proximia Centauri requires 73,000 years of travel. Mars is poisoned by radiation, dead to its core. These are not homes away from our plastic death seas. Some see apocalypse, welcome global warming, place hope in permafrost's hidden bounty to manufacture against tides. 385,000 babies born each day. Agricultural demands harvest freshwater security. War will arrive at our Great Lakes homes, where we relax with insect-less pleasant camping, pesticide in plastic bottles for weed-free lawns, blissfully ignorant of our effect on the wider world. Earth is governed by physics. Natural science cares not for your politics or cultures or money. When all the fish have choked in hypoxic water, when the amphibians are deformed with two heads, when there is no large game trophies for your den, we will eat each other until sand and sun bleach our skulls into beautiful fossils. So,
Isn't that cheering?
the only reason I said that is because we're celebrating Earth Day.
Yeah.
And
This is Earth.
the reason things are happening is because of climate change, whether they believe in it or not.
All right. We'll call that the
Are you
Trump
singing?
birthday poem.
So I'm going to now tell a story because they wanted me to tell a story, and it's not Earth Day related. But it is related to the summer after my freshman year of college. I finally got a job. I went out, looked in the newspaper. I grew up in Peoria, Illinois, which is a small industrial city that used to be the home of Caterpillar Tractor Company, number 57 on the Fortune 500 index, but has since collapsed because they moved out of the country, basically. But I was 19, and I went and got my first job, and you know, you look in the paper, you go in, you have an interview, and it was at Lum's Family Restaurant. And the thing about Lum's Family Restaurant is that it was on the top of the hill on Main Street. It was the one 24-hour restaurant next to downtown Peoria. And I got a job as a bus girl and hostess. And when I started working there was a wonderful manager by the name of Mike who taught me a lot about hospitality and professionalism. And I worked third shift. And on third shift, we had waves of people that would come in. There would be folks that, you know, it was 11 p.m. to 7 a.m. Or was it 10 to 6? I don't remember, but it was one of those. And we'd have people come in, you know, late night after a night out, and then it turned into 2 a.m. bar close, and then it became the streetwalkers and their pimp who was providing them with dinner, and then it was 4 a.m. bar close, and then by 6 a.m. it was the third shift folks getting out of the factory coming for breakfast. So it was a very colorful, interesting job, and I sometimes wonder, like, where the hell was my mother when I was taking this job? But anyway, you know, there was a lot of colorful characters at that job. There was the pregnant waitress who would carry, you know, giant trays of food and would not accept any help. There was Don, the very gay, very closeted, because it was not okay to be gay in Peoria in 1991. Who would tell me I make more money at this job than I do as an accountant. Flaming red hair. And it was okay. It was an okay job. I did pretty well. I saw a lot of sunrises. And then, you know, Mike was such a great manager, he got a better job. He became a store manager, a first shift store manager, and I lost my manager, and they hired Roger. And Roger also had red hair and had sort of a cock of the walk about him. And he was going to lay down the law to all of us third shift slackers. And he hired another bus hostess person who he was fucking, by the way, who was my age, and he was in his 30s, and I don't care. I mean, clearly I don't care about age gap relationships. Clearly I don't care. But what I did care is that she sat on her ass and he let her do it because he was fucking her. And eventually I got so fed up with it that I was like, what is this broad? And I walked into the kitchen with bus tub after bus tub, and he stood there and he's like, why don't you get back to work? And I said, fuck you, Roger. And went back to my job. Because essentially everybody that was working at that job wanted to say that but didn't, because I had the luxury of being a college student, and they were people working their job to support their kids, to support their family. They were not running off to the university in, 3 months, 6 months, whatever. They could not say F you to this rooster. And I went back to doing my job. And at 6 o'clock in the morning or 7, the store manager came in, Ken, and he, of course he had been told. And he said to me, hey, Christine, how you doing? And I was like, fine, I'm fine. Okay then. And he let me leave. And I still had my job. Which only says to me that he knew. He knew what Roger was about. He knew what I was about. And I finished my tenure there, and I did. I went off to college. And all I can say is, when you have a really strong work ethic, you can kind of get away with anything.
Yeah. Yeah.